Hey guys, happy July. It is time for our July Team Zoom. Tonight's topic is going to be starting warm and fuzzy, authentic conversations on social media. So, we are going to be diving into the scary topic of sending direct messages to people without being that coach. And I'm really excited to talk to you about this. So I do have some slides that I have compiled to talk a little bit about my personal social media strategy right now and share that for you to use if you are inspired by that, if you're still working on figuring out what you're doing on social media. And so I'm going to go through a quick presentation, and then I'm going to show you some screenshots of different conversations, different direct messages. I am not going to say good versus bad conversations because this is really what I want you to know. There is really no such thing as good or bad conversations. And I'm just going to mute you guys because there's a little bit of feedback coming through. There's no such thing as good or bad conversations. It's a lot like thinking of food. So we all know that there's no such thing as good or bad food, right? Because that mentality will get us going down the downward spiral of perfectionism and eating disorders. It's just food. Same thing with conversations. So I want you to take all the pressure off yourself because there's no perfect way to talk to someone. There's no perfect thing to say. There's no such thing as like screwing up a conversation. There's no such thing as coming off as authentic, as salesy or spammy. There's no such thing as being spammy because what does spammy mean? It's so subjective, and what's spammy to you is not going to be spammy to someone else. So I want you to stop being afraid of being spammy and being annoying because you're not going to be annoying. All right? If you don't want to be annoying, you're not going to be annoying. And if someone is annoyed by your posts, then they can click unfollow and get out of your network because they're not your target audience. Boom. So that's just how I want to start. Okay. So that's just the mentality I want you to have going into this, that there's no such thing as right or wrong. I'm just going to share with you some of my approaches, my thoughts, like a little inspired joy spin on network marketing, and then share some examples. And then we're going to open up the floor as kind of a roundtable approach because I'm really excited. We have some amazing, more experienced coaches. We have some rock star newer coaches. And I want you guys to be able to share your social media strategies too, and as well as ask questions of one another, because I know some of you probably have specific questions you want to ask. So first of all, if you're watching the recording, thank you for being here. And if you're here live, I just want to start by taking a second to really acknowledge you for showing up on this random summer Wednesday night. I know summer is the craziest season and it's the middle of the week. We're coming off a holiday weekend. And so I just want to acknowledge you for showing up. You are making a sacrifice. You are, you're saying yes to your business right now, which means you're saying no to other things that might be more fun. I don't know what's more fun than this. But that's really cool. And so I want you to feel really good about yourself. And so I want you to pull out your notebook, pull out your pen, because we're going to do this workshop style. I'm going to have you be brainstorming some stuff because I'm all about action. And I want you to close down any other tabs that you have open on your computer. Close them down, log off. You showed up tonight, so let's give each other our best, undivided attention and focus because we are here to spend time together. And this goes for you if you're watching the recording as well. And this goes for me too. I have, how many tabs do you guys have open? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I have 11 tabs open. Who can beat 11? This is ridiculous, you guys. Okay. This is also funny because one of my tabs is an Isagenix training program. Because I found it and it was really had some really good ideas. So, all right, I am going to share my screen. Share this presentation. All right. Can you guys see this? If so, unmute yourself and say yes.
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 Okay. Awesome. Thanks, guys.
Yes.
Great. Let's dig in. So starting authentic conversations on social media, AKA being warm and fuzzy and not being that coach. So, whoa, this looks really kind of weird, but that's okay. First question. We're diving right in. So I want to start by setting a foundation, and I want you to close your eyes right now and take a deep breath and really center yourself and really think about, how do you want someone to feel when you are reaching out and starting conversations with them on your social media, whether that is, in the comments, even just talking to them through the posts that you create, or whether that's going out there on a limb and sending them a direct personal message. How do you want them to feel when they interact with you? And I want you to think of, like 5 or 6 different feelings, and I want you to write them down. So you can open your eyes now. And as you write down each feeling, I want you to take 2 seconds and literally, physically feel this feeling in your body. Okay? So we're going to take a few seconds to do this. And so I have some examples. So here's my examples. These are my feelings. I want someone to feel loved, supported, seen, heard, encouraged, not alone. So I want you to think about, you can use these as examples, or you can have your own feelings, but how do you want someone to feel? And as you write it down, take 2 seconds to embody that feeling physically in your body and feel it. All right, because I'm having you do this, because this is really the whole point, right? This is, we're meant to be a light to someone else. So when we are putting ourselves out there, when we're contributing to the noise that is social media, we're not just contributing to the noise. We are sharing a message, and we want to connect. We want to share feelings, and we want someone to feel something positive when they think of us. And so when you come from a place of these intentions, these values, these feelings, and have these feelings in the back of your mind whenever you reach out and talk to someone, then you are always going to be anchored to your authentic truth and who you are. And so I also want you to think about, how can you be more personal in the way that you talk to people? And this is an open-ended question, but for example, we always have the "hey girl" message, right? So you reach out to someone and you're casual, you're fun, and you just like throw out the "hey girl, what's up?" And so I want you to think about how you use like pet names like "hey girl," "hey lady," "hey gorgeous," "hey beautiful," "hey lovely," because those are, they're pet names, right? And when we use a pet name for someone that we don't really know, that's still kind of a stranger on the internet, that kind of makes them feel like they're not important, because it makes them feel generic, like they're being sent a mass message. So I want you to think about the way you use these like pet names, and save them for people who are actually your friends, or who you've actually started to talk to. And I want you, this is just like one little shift that we can all make, is when you are first reaching out to someone, I want you to use their name, because there is no more beautiful word to someone than hearing their own name. And it's personal, right? Like, I know even when I'm out and about and there's like a cashier or a waiter or a waitress and they have a name tag, it's like, it's hard for me to say their name and say, thank you, Stephanie. I usually just say thanks because using someone's name is like, it's personal, it's vulnerable, it's like making that connection. And so I want you to use people's names as much as possible when you're talking to them because it makes them feel valued. Because you see them for who they are, not just another girl. All right. So now we've established our values and our feelings. Now we're going to think about your intentions for social media. So here are some prompts. So I want you to write down what 2 or 3 social media platforms are your favorite right now. Because it is easy to get into this all or nothing mindset and think like, oh, we have to be a master of everything. And I want you to become a specialist. I want you to take one platform at a time and dig deep and just like spend a whole month on it. And so what 2 or 3 platforms are your favorite? So for example, right now I'm working on Instagram. I'm working on Facebook, my Facebook page specifically, and I'm working on my blog. So those are my platforms. And you can have one platform, 1 or 2 as well. Instagram and Facebook are the easiest and most accessible because they are more community driven. So list out what platforms you want to focus on right now. What are your favorite? What ones make you happy to be on? Not the ones that you think you should be on just because everyone else is. Don't think about the shoulds. Think about what makes you happy and where your people are right now. Where is your audience right now? And then I want you underneath or next to where you wrote down these platforms, I want you to jot down, what's your end goal for each platform? Like, what is your purpose for posting on them? What are you trying to accomplish with posting on these platforms? And for example, my end goal with Instagram is to share inspiration, share my journey, and mainly just inspire people and connect with people and expand my network. My end goal with Instagram is not to sign up challengers and coaches right now. That's not my goal with Instagram. It might be your Instagram goal right now. I used to sign up challengers and coaches from Instagram. So, but what do you want to really like accomplish with each social media platform? Why are you posting on it? And kind of what goes along with that is, where do you want to drive people? And by this, I mean, I'm just like envisioning this cute little collie dog, like herding sheep. But like, if you're a cute little fluffy, bouncy border collie, like, where are you herding your sheep? Where do you want to drive people? Because here's the thing, you guys, social media platforms, yeah, we get dependent on them, and we build almost our entire businesses on these, especially Facebook. But here's kind of the scary thing. We do not own these platforms, and they could disappear. They could come up with new, like the new Instagram algorithms, they come up with new rules, new new things all the time, new updates. And so we have no control over our social media platforms. So you need to be careful not to put your entire business on these external platforms. So you need to be driving people to something that you do control, like your email, or like your phone contact list, or like your email list, or like your blog, driving people closer to you. So for example, my goal with Instagram, I always put a link to my blog post, or I say, email me, and I put my email, or I will, if I'm running a free group, I might post a link to my free Facebook group to drive them one level deeper and closer to me. So like, where are you driving people? Where do you want them to go from these platforms? And I know these are big questions, and I think that my next few slides are going to make them a little easier to understand. But I just want you to start thinking big picture to start with your social media strategy. Because here's the thing, here's the whole point of social media. So the whole point is to draw people in to you. It is to connect with people. And here's the way the flow works. So first, people will get to know you. Then they will get to like you. And, like they might decide they don't like you and then they'll unfollow you. So you're going to drop people here. But the ones who do like you, they're going to start to trust you. So trust, this is one of the end goals of social media. You want to get people to trust you. And so how do we build trust? We build trust by consistency. So if you are posting like constantly like a mad woman for a week and then you drop off the face of the earth, are people going to trust you? Probably not. Or if you are like every month you're committing to a program and then you sabotage yourself and you're constantly starting over, like are people going to trust you? If you can't be consistent with your social media, how can you expect them to trust you to be consistent with your support? Like if you can't support yourself consistently, how are you going to support someone else? And so people aren't going to trust you until you keep showing up consistently. And it doesn't have to be crazy, but I really want you to start thinking about your journey as like it's part of something bigger. It's not just about you. It's about gaining trust, because credibility is everything with this business. There are a lot of skeptics out there. There's a lot of doubters. There's a lot of haters. There's a lot of people who think you're crazy, and your credibility is everything. And so the more consistent you are, people are going to follow you and they're going to watch your journey. And in 1 year from now, or 2 years from now, or 5 years from now, they're going to come to you and say, I've been watching you your entire journey. And because of you, I didn't give up and I'm ready to do what you do now. You never know who's watching. So just think about it. The know, like, trust. This is the flow. And guess what goes along with know, like, and trust? Attract, connect, invite. This is Beachbody lingo. So this is the new first vital behavior, you guys. So invite is officially changed to attract, connect, invite, which I love because it just like directly reflects the know, like, and trust flow. So first, you're trying to attract people to you. So they're trying to get to know you. Then you want them to connect with you, which is like they like you. They decide if they're going to connect with you or not. Once you've attracted them, once you've connected them and they like you, that is when you can invite them, because that is when they will trust you. And when someone trusts you, they're going to say yes, or they're not going to ignore you. So if you keep getting crickets with your invites and with your convos, it's probably because you haven't taken the time to attract and really connect with someone. Because if you've really connected with someone and you know what's going on in their life and they're giving you crickets, that's when you can be a little tough love and be like, that's when you can say, hey girl, I know this was important to you. Where are you? Do not go MIA on me. And you can be a little more tough love. And so, but you have to put in the work to attract and connect first. And so this is the social media flow of how it all works. So first, people are your followers. So they're getting to know you, they're attracted to you, they're your followers. This is our goal. We want to convert followers to friends. Friends we connect with, they like us. Then we want to convert our friends to be our challengers and coaches. So trust, invite, challenger, coach. Do you see how this flow goes together? You have to build a foundation first. You have to draw people in step by step. And so when you're going to go out of your comfort zone and send a direct message, put yourself in their shoes and make sure that you are feeling good and you feel like you've connected with them and they're your friend. So are you their friend? Instagram friends is legit. Instagram friend counts. And by a friend, that means like you've chatted back and forth with them a few times, or are you just a stranger on the internet that they don't really know? So make sure someone is liking your posts and following you. You can see who likes your posts. Pay attention to who likes and comments on your posts, because they're the ones who are in this middle field who you can build trust and invite. All right, so here is, this is a visual of my personal social media strategy right now. So this is how I draw people in. This is how I use my platforms. You can take this or you can leave it, but I just want to show you what my philosophy is right now. So I have all these, I think of this because I'm a visual person. I think of my social media is kind of like an IKEA vortex. You know, if you've ever been to IKEA, it is like shaped like concentric rings full of awesome furniture and random stuff you didn't even know you needed. And it draws you in and it sucks you in and you can't get out because you see so much that you like. And so that's like the goal, is to suck people in so they can't get enough of you. So level one. So level one is the outer level of just like, I just want to reach as many people as possible. This is like the shotgun. So this is through my most public social media platforms like my Facebook page, Instagram, and my blog. I just want to get as many people to follow me as I can. So first, just want to get as many people to get to know me, to be attracted to me. And then from my Facebook page, my Instagram, and my blog, I want to draw them in one level deeper if they choose. And one level in, it would be like to join a free group or to join my email list. So they're still kind of in the crowd, but I'm talking to them a little more one-on-one. So I get to know them a little more. And then for my free group and my email list, I want to move them to be Facebook friends. And so they can see my personal life and we can Facebook message. And then I want to move the conversation to email and email back and forth. And so you could also go, obviously skip a couple levels and you can go like straight to email. But you can't go straight to the center of the bullseye, which is level 5, which is, this is the most personal level where we have a phone call or a Skype coffee date, or we meet in person if they're in Chicago. And so this is like friend level. So my goal is to move as many people to friend level and get phone calls and Skype dates and in-person meetings as I can. So can you kind of see how I just kind of funnel people in this direction? So I'm not trying to get people to join my challenge like from the outer rung of my circle. Like I might post challenge and coach like promo flyers, but that's more just like for awareness. It's not just to like, you know, get them to say yes and go straight to the middle. I want to slowly build trust by moving them through these levels. And here is when I'll invite them, or like, you know, these center 2 rings is when I will invite them to something, AKA like a challenge group or to learn more about coaching. So here's how this ties into the flow. So here's the know. When you getting to know someone, they get to know you through like these outer, more public social media. So they might follow you. Then they figure out they like you. So they'll choose to go a step deeper and get closer to you. And then they start to trust you. And once they trust you, because you've built this foundation of posting consistently on your outer level, and then you've connected with them and gave them a little bit of value, and you've become friends, online friends or real life friends, then they trust you. And so again, this outer, it's like it goes with attract. You want to attract people, then you want to connect with them more individually. And then once you've connected, you want to invite them. So this is how the first vital behavior aligns with social media in my opinion. So you can replace any of these levels with any of, you know, whatever is most comfortable to you. But this is the way I want you to start thinking about social media. I want you to think of it as like a funnel that you're trying to get people to know, like, trust you, so you can attract them, connect with them, and then invite them, which takes the pressure off, because we're not trying to invite the masses. You know, it's like, it's about quality. So you see these levels get smaller and smaller visually, and it's because the number of people in each of these categories gets smaller and smaller, because, you know, we only need a few people in our challenge groups. We only want the right people. And so we filter them as they get to like and trust us. It's like dating, okay? Here's another analogy, which I know we've used before. But okay, I don't know. I know that Bree has asked a guy out, but here's the thing. It's like dating. So you wouldn't invite someone on a date unless you were first attracted to them, and then you felt connected. You had some sort of connection with them, and then you would invite them on a date. Attract, connect, invite. You're not going to just like invite some random stranger on a date. So you don't want to invite some random stranger to your challenge group, because like you want to be able to know that you have a connection. And so like, let's take the pressure off inviting like cold prospects, and don't shock people or like turn them off, but just like warm them up first, and court them, date them, let them know that you're awesome and connect with them. So a lot of inviting has to do about mindset, because when we're putting ourselves out there and connecting with people, we're going out of our comfort zone. So like I said at the beginning of this call, there's no right or wrong or good or bad way to talk to someone, okay? So stop trying to search for like the perfect conversation starter or the perfect script, because there's no such thing. So don't let the fear hold you back. Just put it in the back seat and move forward anyway. And so I want to challenge you to try different approaches to see what feels good to you, because the only way you're going to figure out what works for you is by figuring out what feels icky. Yes, you're going to have to feel icky in order to know where your line is drawn. So this is hard. This is challenging. It's okay to feel icky, because worst case scenario, you say something that feels icky, you go back and clear the energy. Okay, guys, this is an actual Instagram direct convo I had with this girl last month. So we've been chatting. I know her personally. She was talking about how she hated her job. So I just like put out there, hey, random question. Have you ever thought about being a coach? Blah, blah, blah. I just want to throw it out there. More than a month goes by. Okay, between May 19th and June 23rd, how was I feeling? I was freaking out. I felt horrible. I was terrified. I burned a bridge. I was terrified. I annoyed her. I was like projecting all of my insecurities onto her. And so a couple weeks ago, I was just like, screw this. I need to reach out and just like clear the air for my own energy. So I just said, hey girl, because I know her. Hey girl, just wanted to reach out and apologize if I turned you off with the coach word. I know there are a lot of newbie pushy coaches out there. They're quick to scam. I know how annoying that is. I would never want you to think I'm only your friend because I'm trying to suck you into something you're not interested in. So just want to let you know that. And guess what she responded? Oh, girl, no worries. I'm sorry for not getting back to you. I always forget about DMs. Haha, hope you're doing well. See, here's the thing. It's like we're afraid, we project our insecurities when people are just busy. And most of the time, like they're not annoyed at all. So if you do something that you regret, it's never too late to go back and clear the energy. And you don't have to apologize for what you say. Like, this was just like, I didn't want to take back what I said. I just wanted to apologize if I turned her off. And I just wanted to make sure that, whatever. So this is me, you guys. This is me, June 23rd, which was like 2 weeks ago. I still do this stuff. I'm trying to figure out what is my, what's my icky level and what feels authentic to me. The only way to figure this out is to do it. And so now I've decided not to do direct invites on Instagram because it causes me anxiety. And it's not about them, it's about me. So I want to get people on the phone. So yeah, so I can connect with them. So here's some more examples. Feel free to screenshot. Here's some examples that actual coaches on our team, including myself, have used that have gotten crickets. There's nothing wrong, nothing wrong with these messages, right? They are authentic, they are vulnerable, they connect. They're great. These messages are great, but people didn't respond. Why not? Probably because we just threw them out there without starting a conversation first. So just be aware and just take notes. And if you're getting crickets, maybe be objective and just look at their life. Maybe they're just busy. Maybe they just don't know how to access direct messages on Instagram. Or maybe you didn't, warm them up enough first. So here's an example. And this coach said, here's an example of making my message genuine and personal. We're still chatting like old friends. Okay, so I want you to compare these messages, which are just like, they're good, but they're kind of like we're giving our power away. It's kind of like because we're asking someone to consider being a coach on our team, when really it's not an honor for us to ask them. It's like an honor for them to say yes. So you want to hold the power and you want them to know like it's on them. And it would be an absolute honor. It's not like we're not asking for favors. So read this one. I just felt compelled to tell you how amazing I think you are. I started following you ages ago because we're neighbors. Hey, connection. But I genuinely find you so inspiring. I've known several friends recovering from Lyme's disease and know that it's far from a picnic. Days where I'm having a hard time getting after my personal goals, it helps to see that you're getting after yours. And with such a lovely smile on your face, thank you for being so uplifting. You're great. This has nothing about coaching, nothing. This is a love bomb. It is genuine, it is real, and like people aren't going to respond to an invitation that's a cold invitation very often because they are going to be like, well, what am I supposed to do for her? Like, you want to make sure you're giving before you're asking. So give value, give love, give encouragement, and they're going to respond, because who can't respond to some love bomb like this? So think about giving value to open the conversation. And then once you open a conversation, that's when you're going to throw out something like this. Okay, so there's absolutely nothing wrong with these invitations. The only thing that I think the reason why no one responded was because they just came out of nowhere. And we were asking before we were giving. So make sure you give before you ask. Start conversations. Here's another example from an Isagenix rep who is still in touch with the coach that shared this. So look, it's just, and this is something you can do. This is a little generic, but hey, you can make it more authentic too, and it worked. It was just like, what's your email? So again, this is like the vortex bullseye. It's like draw people in. Don't ask them, don't invite them on Instagram if you want to connect with them on a personal level. Okay, and then here is the not so good examples. This girl actually messaged Katie at Summit. We were at Summit last year, which is funny. But these coaches aren't bad coaches, like they just are taking things in a different, from a different perspective. And so I want you to kind of think about what makes these more no. They're not personal. They're asking before giving. And these women didn't take the time to really get to know, connect with you. So yeah. And here's another thing. Yeah, she's making $3,000 a month working part-time from home as a fitness coach, and she loves it. This is like, be careful not to spam people with your bliss. Because yeah, you're happy, and it's easy to get enthusiastic and be like, I love my life. But people don't want you to force your love down their throats, So be aware. All right. And I don't have a last slide, but here's my action for you guys. So I want you to write down these actions for this week before we get into the roundtable. So I want you to ask yourself, what is one way you can push your comfort zone this week with your conversations? How do you want to connect with people on each social media platform? What feels good to you? Do you love sending love bombs on Instagram, or would you rather draw them in to a more personal platform? So do you want to build relationships on these platforms, or is the point of these platforms to draw people, move them inward? So what makes you feel, just like what makes you feel warm and fuzzy, basically. And lastly, I want you to ask yourself, where is the best use of your energy right now? So maybe you've been feeling some pressure to build your Instagram or build your social media following, when really you just need to spend your energy connecting with the followers you already have. Like where's really the best use? Or maybe you feel like you need some fresh life in your followers, and so you do want to push for more followers. But think about quality over quantity. All right, and we're back. So, presentation over, you guys. So now I am okay, I'm going through the questions real quick, or the comments. Yes, is it skeezy to talk about money as a coach? Great question. So think about it. Think about, like, are you attracted to posts about money? How do you feel? No? Then don't talk about money, because it's like no one cares about money. Money means nothing, okay? So here's how I want you to think about it. What do people actually want when they say they want more money? They want more freedom. They want more independence. They want to feel more abundant. Like, what are the feelings that they're going after? And so here's how you can share about your income as a Beachbody coach. Share what you're doing with your money. Because when you say, like, I made $500, woo, like, that sounds salesy. But when you say, I am paying off my student loans from, my side job with Beachbody, like, that's tangible. So show what you're doing with the money, and that's a lot more attractive. It connected to the feelings of how you want to feel, and that's so much more attractive than just like talk about money. So if that helps. But yeah, it's like talking about your salary when you've just met someone. Yes, possibilities, safety, freedom. So here's the thing. If you're talking to someone and, like, they're genuinely interested in coaching, and you know them and they've done your challenge group, or you've been talking about coaching, and they genuinely ask you, okay, look, be real with me. What kind of income can I expect? That's when you can share about the money. And that's when you can share the coach compensation plan, or not the compensation plan, but the statement of coach earnings with them. So if you search, just like Google Beachbody statement of coach earnings, and it's a PDF of all the average earnings for each rank, coach through Star Diamond, from last year. So this is like a good average of, like, this is what people can expect when they're a coach. So you can share that too, because that's safe, because we don't want to guarantee anything. But yeah, just think about what feels good to you and put yourself in their shoes. That's a great question, though. All right, let's open the floor. Feel free to unmute yourselves if you have any questions, and or if you have a specific question, because I know we have some awesome like Instagram combo starters. Like, I don't do Instagram direct messages, but I know some of you guys do, and it works great for you. So I want you to just, like, try stuff out, figure out what works good for you. Like, I used to be terrified of the phone, and now all of a sudden it's like, I love the phone, because it's like I can share my energy. So think about what works for you. All right, does anyone want to share some tips about your tips about doing authentic combos?
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, I don't have a question, but I actually had a coach prospect phone call a couple of days before the long weekend, and she was in our coach preview group, and she told me something about our conversation which really shifted my perspective on it, and I just wanted to share with you guys. So she had, I guess, been approached by a bunch of Beachbody coaches, specifically one girl who, like, she'd been talking to for, I guess, a couple of weeks. And we'd been talking for like 3 months, but I never approached coaching with her because, like, it just hadn't come up. There wasn't an appropriate time in the conversation. Like, we were just talking about, like, getting to know each other and our mutual love of camping and stuff. But I had never seen, like, a need for her to want coaching in her life other than just being a badass and, like, total awesome chick that I was like, I'm keeping this girl on my radar because I really like her energy. And yeah, she, I guess, like, it was super, this girl just, like, basically was like, I think you'd be a great fit for my team. Is this something you're interested in? And she was like, I don't really know anything about it. And she's like, okay, well, fill out this form. So she, without getting to know her, she asked her to fill out this form. So she was like, okay, whatever. So she did. And then the girl responded with basically an email saying like the same thing that she had in the original message, because she hadn't been keeping track of what was happening and hadn't taken the time to even get to know her. And she was totally turned off. And she goes, the thing that made me look at your message differently, and like, because we had also been building this connection, but when I asked her about joining the preview, she was like totally 100% in, because she was like, the thing that made me just know that it was different with you, she's like, I trusted you from the get-go, and I trusted you because from the beginning of our conversation, you actually cared to get to know me. Like, you asked questions about me from the beginning. And that's what I do. Like, when I start a conversation, because I Instagram is my main platform for getting to know people who are not in my warm market. So like, not people I've known before. And it's worked really well for me. And what I always do is I love bomb the shit out of them at the front of the message. And then I say, by the way, like, I saw that you're a dog, like that you have a dog. Oh my goodness, he's the cutest thing ever. I'm about to have a puppy in 3 weeks and I'm freaking out. Please, please, please share any tips or whatever. Like, you seem like you're such an awesome dog mom. Just like whatever, something that says that you've done more than just like look at their profile and been like, oh, this is a person that likes health and fitness. I'm going to send this robotic message to them. Like, something that says that you took the time to spend an extra minute scrolling through their feed and get to know a little bit about them. And honestly, that's also helped me kind of decipher the ones that I'm like, oh, well, they're not really a person that I think I would jive with. I'm going to skip and move to the next person. Because if you're really clear with your ICA, it's super easy to just be like, nah, this person isn't probably gonna be someone I jive with. Like, I'm not gonna waste a direct message on them today. I know that might sound shitty, but when it comes down to it, like, I'm picky with the girls I let on my team because I want a tribe of amazing, authentic, goofy girls. And if I don't think that person has those qualities from their Instagram pictures, they might in real life. Not everything translates, but overall, I feel like it's a pretty telltale sign based on their pictures. So yeah, but I found that and she even said like, it was such a difference. Like, I immediately was like, I love this girl. She's real. She's chill. And she's like, that made me feel so, so good. So I think that is the biggest thing for connecting, especially on Instagram, is just like really, really being specific about something about them that you notice and that inspired you back,
Yeah. I also love how you ended it by asking them for advice. Because here's the thing, people don't like to receive advice, but they love to give advice. So this is a great way to boost engagement on your post too, is like, ask for advice. Because that makes them feel like, oh my gosh, not only does she see me and like think I'm cool, but she wants my advice. And people love to help. And so that's also a great tip. Yeah. And I also want to also mention that, social media platforms are constantly changing. Like, I've been on Instagram for 3 years now. I used to be able to post a 21-day fix before and after and sell 6 challenge packs. Yeah, that's how I build my business. And so it's not like that anymore, which, I don't know, sort of sucks, but at the same time, like, all those girls, like, they weren't my ideal coach anyway. So it forces us to get more personal and to really dig deep and do the work and really like be genuine and just know that social media is going to keep changing too, and your business is going to keep changing. And so you constantly have to be willing to put yourself out there and try. Because if you don't put yourself in the ring, like, you're going to be left behind. You have to just like, it's messy, it's uncomfortable, but it can feel good if you come from the love bomb perspective with no expectation of an outcome at the end. Like, don't expect that like someone is going to sign up to coach and then you won't be disappointed if they don't, but also it gives you the freedom and it helps you remain in control of the conversation. Yeah. Golden tips. Yeah, Laura.
Okay. So this is like just something kind of weird that I've been stewing on lately. is that like the way that I look for new people to follow and like connect with on Instagram is normally through hashtags, right? Like I search hashtags and I try and do like not fitness ones. I try and do like other ones and try and find girls that seem like they would like fit my vibe or that kind of thing. But then I also think about like the majority of the girls that like I'm friends with in real life who also might make great coaches don't use hashtags because they're not using their Instagram for anything other than like just to follow their friends and post cool pictures of their life. And so I'm like, I feel like I'm missing out on this whole huge community of people who aren't using Instagram for something like business related or like feel the need to grow their Instagram. And so I don't know, I'm struggling with that lately. And I just want to know if anyone had any thoughts or advice or anything.
Yeah, that's an awesome point too.
I can go. So like I just dig through, I don't know, I feel like all of Instagram basically. So, you know, if you have a favorite brand or a blogger that you really like see who's commenting, see who's liking, you're going to end up like 7 profiles deep before you know it. But that's, I don't know, it's kind of where I start.
That's a great tip is yeah.
Yeah.
Also, I don't know if you guys know about this little thing. Let me just see if I can show you guys I'm just going to click on a random person that I'm following. Can y'all see this? Kind of. If you go to a person's profile, maybe. Anyway, see that little button beside following? If you click on it, it'll bring up a bunch of people who are similar to that person, and you can scroll left and right, and they're people that you're not following but are similar to that person. So that could be another way. And every time you click on follow, it'll bring up a whole new stream of people. So that can also, it's kind of like a black hole. And you can get a lot of like new people that are similar to people that you're already following that way too.
Have been sucked into that black hole before and been like, oh my God, I just followed like 20 people.
Me too. That's how I found this Isagenix 90-day training program this morning. I was like, where did I find this? But it's awesome. It's because I started like searching, for bullet journaling people. Yeah. So yeah. And also like one of my tips is to get like out of the health and fitness, because the health and fitness, bubble on Instagram is oversaturated with coaches. So get out of it. What else are you interested in? Right now I'm interested in hand lettering, calligraphy, creativity, and bullet journaling. And so like start looking at your other interests and look at the bigger profiles that you follow and look at who follows them and who, like Bree said, who's liking and commenting, and just like do some digging. And you can do this, at the end of the day, if you're burned out and you just want to veg and watch some Netflix, you can like do this. It still can be intentional, but just don't use your best energy for Insta stalking.
And also think about your ICA and how they use social media. Like, I don't want someone who posts like every 3 months. Like if I look at someone's profile and I'm like, oh, her feed's really pretty, but it hasn't been, there's been a year since she posted last. Like, I'm not going to reach out to that person. Like, she's probably never going to see my message. Or people that don't use hashtags. Like, I want people who are already using Instagram for like business, or like health and fitness or something where they know about hashtags and that they use them, not just for like random photos of life. So you also have to think about how your ICA uses social media.
Yeah.
And
are they even on Instagram?
Right.
And if they're not on Instagram, then stop worrying about Instagram and get on Facebook, get on blogs, get on, into the real world and like into, wherever they're hanging out.
I would also say you can actually search locations on Instagram. So that's also a really good way to find people. It's like not, if you just go to the search bar, it's under places. So if there's like, I don't know, coffee shops in your area or something.
That is genius. I did not know that.
Also, a really random thing that I do is I'll just go to the search bar and type in
my ICA's name, or, Anna or Carrie or something, and then just like see everybody who pops up and then see how their life is.
Like,
I've
here's
also
no
done
secret.
that. Just like decided that like one of my ICAs was a girl named Callie who was into Tone It Up. So I added like a million people with different like Tone It Up usernames that had Callie in them because it went a little crazy. It's fun.
Yeah. Do what's fun, there's no secret formula. Yeah.
I shared this with Hannah and some of my personally sponsored coaches, that after I did your webinar, Anna, in like February about the ideal coach avatar, her name was Melanie. And 2 weeks later, I found Melanie and she signed up, and she's like the most bomb coach ever. She's so much fun. I love her. So I need to go back and revisit that and redesign my ideal coach avatar.
Yeah.
So I thought that was awesome.
Awesome. It's manifesting. It works. It's scary.
I know. She's like, what is this magic? What are you talking about?
Yeah.
I did the exact same thing, Mary Claire, and that happened with Katie, who's actually on this call.
No way.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
So it works. Do it. Watch that webinar.
It's real. It's real. She appeared.
Yeah. No, like the week after I did that webinar, I had Brittany Fruitt reach out to me, who had been my challenger for like 2 months. And she was like, lived, like 100 miles from my ideal coach avatar's home. And yeah, it's like,
Oh my gosh.
it's a little creepy, but it's really cool. So make sure that you're manifesting good stuff instead of, because if you dwell in your fears and in your insecurities and your doubts, you're only going to make more fears and insecurities and doubts. So this is another thing, you guys. If you feel like you're struggling or feel like you're not good enough or feel like you're failing, like, are you really? Or are you just blowing it out of proportion in your head? Like, are your fears real, or are they just a figment of your imagination? Because like it's like easy to glorify the struggle, and that's something I've been doing recently. I'm like, oh, growing pains. Oh, I'm struggling. And it's like, no, Anna, you're doing great. Just like own it. It's safe. It's okay. It's okay to be happy and just like know that, yeah, you still have far ways to go, but in the meantime, things are pretty darn good. So yeah. Does anyone else have any questions or any anything that's working or anything that's not working? Did you guys like my my slides? Yay. Okay, good. Sometimes I start talking and I'm just like, I don't know if this makes sense, but I think it's really cool to think about the vital behavior as attract, connect, invite, and to give yourself time to build those relationships, because, like, especially if you're in your first year of coaching, take off some of the pressure. It's not going to happen overnight. You got to build relationships, and you're going to have challengers in your challenge groups for 2 years or longer before they're ready. And so make sure that you're meeting people when they're ready, and you'll be able to feel it. And if you feel pressured or stressed out or desperate, then that's going to come off. And so that comes with like trying to make rank goals and all this stuff. Is like, if you feel desperate, or at the end of the month trying to hit Success Club, if you're feeling desperate to hit Success Club, like, it's not going to feel good even if you do hit it. So think about how it comes back to how you want to feel in your business, and what feelings do you want to project on other people. Warm and fuzzies. Yay. All right, last call for questions or shares. Reminder to get your monies to Katie if you ordered shirts. And you guys, it's 3 weeks till Summit. It's crazy. If you're not coming to Summit, it doesn't matter, because you're going to feel our energy. And like, let's just have so much fun this month. Go out there share some love, be yourself, work on yourself, put yourself first, and know that everything else will fall into place. So thanks so much for hanging out with me tonight, you guys. You are amazing, and I will talk to you later.